It's time for stock car racing's toughest drivers to take on NASMAR's toughest track. Let me introduce you to the three-turn monster, also known as Pocono Raceway.
We are green and Pocono.
Get on her good side, and you'll be just fine. If not, then watch out, because she bites back.
Oh, Elliott hits the 11th.
Hard crash.
And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great American Getaway 400 at the Pocono Raceway, nestled into these Pocono Mountains. Today, I am part of your Pocono party, joined by Speed Cup, Stop Motion, Northwest, and Cats.
Thank you, MLCS. We once again return to the tricky triangle. We're getting ready to go here once again at Pocono. We have a lot of favorites coming today, a lot of underdogs, which we will go over. But Northwest, what is your excitement, man, for this race? I'm ready to go. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm really excited about high downforce and just the fact that the cars will be able to pass each other. Lots of side drafting. You know how it snakes on Pocono straightaways. Really excited for the tunnel turn. Gets more bumpy every single year. So, just really excited to see how much passing we can have today compared to past seasons. All right, Cats.
Yeah, I think it's also going to be a great race. Excited to see it. You know, it should plan out to be really well, and just looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah, as Kat said, it is going to be an electric day in Pocono, and the point standings, they are wrapping up after the Chicago street race. Only 5 races to go until the playoffs, and 13 drivers won. Only 3 drivers who can still advance based off wins. It's going to be a really close cut line. Speed, what do you think's going to happen here?
I honestly do not know. I'm looking at Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney as the guys who are the closest to getting out of the playoffs currently, in the danger zone, in my opinion. But a really pleasant surprise this playoffs, maybe potentially a dark horse for a deep playoff run, is that 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. Got that win at Atlanta in race 2 of the season and has quietly stayed consistent. Could we see a 42 make a deep playoff run? Maybe into the round of 8. I don't know. We'll have to see. Northwest, who do you got your eye on for these for this cut line?
Well, we're looking at Christopher Bell and Kyle Busch, just 49 points apart on that cut line. That's not a great gap. That's about half a race. And a good race today could put Kyle Busch ahead. A bad race could put Bell below. It just really depends. What about you, Cats?
Well, you know, I'm kind of looking at Brad Keselowski and Michael McDowell, because if you look at the points, not only are they 1 point separated from each other, Michael McDowell is only 2 points from Kyle Busch. So I could see any two of them, Michael McDowell or Keselowski, getting ahead of Kyle Busch if they have a good race, or maybe even getting ahead of Bell.
Yeah, a really interesting points daddle indeed, but let's take a look at your ones to watch for today's event. My pick, it has to be Tyler Reddick. He is starting on pole today. He was blistering fast in qualifying and in practice. He had a great run here in 2023, and he had the fastest 15-lap practice average. Those numbers could really add up. Watch for the 45 Toyota Camry here today.
Of course, I'm going to have to go with my boy, Chase Elliott. He is starting second today here at Pocono. He won the 2023 race after dumping Denny Hamlin into the wall. And he's talked to Chase this morning and Alan Gustafson. They both said the car is very good. So definitely watch that number 9 car today.
I got my eye on Denny Hamlin today. Starting 12th, team started off slow in practice, but had a great run last season until a run-in with Chase Elliott. Look out for Denny Hamlin today.
I have my eye on Joey Logano today, starting 14th, but if he can make a run to the top, he can be looking at a top 5 or 3, you know. He has the fastest short run practice average, so look at that on the short run for Logano to be passing people, and he was the winner at Pocono in 2022, so, you know, he's won here before, he can do it again.
And that is our pre-race picks. Take a look at the graphic one more time. NLS also chiming in with Ross Chastain. It's going to be a fun one here today, but let's go ahead and take a look at how tricky this triangle is.
Yes, MLCS, this triangle is truly tricky. 3 turns instead of the usual 4 on a normal oval. But the big kicker here is that front straightaway, 3,400 feet long, and it is 100 feet in width. And that sends you right down into turn number 1.
Turn 1 is based off of Trenton Speedway. The banking's 14 degrees. A lot of brake into the corner coming off high speeds of almost 200 miles per hour. And then they'll head their way down to the Long Pond straightaway where we saw Casey Kane have a crazy crash. A lot of momentum base. Make sure you have a great roll off of turn number 1 to make sure you can enter the tunnel turn well.
And here we head into turn 2 with a banking of 8 degrees. The corner is very bumpy because of the tunnel underneath, so the cars will have to look out for that corner today and make sure their car doesn't get bounced around. And now we head into the North straightaway with a length of 1,780 feet. The straightaway is short but sweet and will lead the drivers into turn number 3.
And off of that northern straightaway, we head into turns number 3. Again, a very low banked corner, but it's very sweeping. This run will determine what you can make of the front straightaway. And it should be a fun one indeed. That is your track race down, but it is time to hear our nation's colors. Let's go trackside for the national anthem. And thank you for that amazing national anthem. Let's take a look at your keys to victory here at the Pocono Raceway. Let's talk about restarts, the most important part of this race. Every single time, this is the spot where you're going to gain positions. 4 wide, 6 wide, be smart.
Avoid the wrecks. It's called the tricky triangle for a reason, of course. Turn 2, really tricky. Turn 1, brake failures. We see things like Jimmy Johnson, Bubba Wallace, brake failures into turn 1. So avoid wrecking the car, especially for those playoff guys.
And track position as well. Track position is very important at Pocono. I cannot stress this enough. If you can take track position, you're going to want to take it here.
And those are your keys to victory here at the Pocono Raceway for the Great American Getaway 400. Let's go trackside for the command.
This place is fast. It's tricky. It's Pocono Raceway. Drivers, start your engines.
And these drivers, we are rolling for the Great American Getaway 400 here at the Pocono Raceway. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
The NASMAR Community Cup Series returns to the Brickyard 400 on Sunday, August 4th at 7:30 p.m. EST, only on the Speed Cup Stop Motion YouTube channel.
Flashing. The wall. And now big crash.
And oh, another huge crash!
Let's try 4-1.
Put it back in the 24 there on the wall!
Oh, W! It's the 11.
It's NASMAR Community Cup Series racing from Pocono Raceway, here for the Great American Getaway 400 presented by VisitNEPA.com. 6 races left until the playoffs begin. The pressure is beginning to set in on those not yet locked into the playoffs. I'm Gavin Beers, and joining me in the booth today is Cooper Stum and Timothy Brown.
Thanks for having us, Gavin. It is bound to be a fun one here today in Pocono. Let's see what the Tricky Triangle delivers here today.
Yes, as Pocono has always had some action here in the next-gen cars, we'll see some action here today, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Great race on hand, but let's see how they will roll off. Let's go down now to the starting lineup for today's race. On pole yesterday is the 45 of Tyler Reddick. Starting next to him is the 9 of Chase Elliott. In row 2, we have Christopher Bell and Eric Jones.
In row number 3, it's Mr. Christopher Busher next to Rowdy Kyle Busch. Sitting in row number 4, it's a couple of Hendrick teammates in the 48 of Alex Bowman and the 24 of William Byron.
In row number 5, we have Brad Keselowski and Ross Melleman Chastain. And in row 6, we got Denny Hamlin next to Daniel Suarez.
Row 7, Joey Logano and Kyle Larson, both drivers looking for a better qualifying run yesterday. And in row 8, it's Ty Gibbs next to Ryan Blaney.
Row 9, we got Mr. Bubba Wallace next to Martin Truex Jr. Row 10, Noah Gragson and Corey LaJoy.
In row 11, we have Michael McDowell next to Ryan Preece. And in row 12, we have Todd Gilliland next to Carson Hocevar.
Row 13, we have Chase Briscoe and Austin Cindric, a pair of 4s. And in row 14, Harrison Burton and Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Row 15, Mr. Shane Van Gisbergen and John Hunter Nemechek. Row 16, we got the dinger, AJ Allmendinger next to AD, Austin Dillon.
And in row 17, we have Justin Haley next to Zane Smith. And in row 18, we got Kaz Gralla and Cody Ware.
Row 19 is JJ Yaley and Connor Daly making a start in the 50 car. And rounding out the field with crashes in practice and qualifying yesterday is Josh Berry and Daniel Hemmer. We've seen crazy races here at Pocono in the past. Our guys over in the Pocono Party during pre-race covered our keys to victory. One of them was track position and staying up front. 1 year ago, the 9 of Chase Elliott got into it with the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Cost the 11 of Hamlin a win, and it started a rivalry for the rest of the regular season leading up into the playoffs before NASCAR officials stepped in and had to intervene to slow down this rivalry. 1 year ago is where it all started here with Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin. Let's take a look at what happened. Into the tunnel turn, Chase Elliott underneath the 11 of Hamlin, gives him the bumper, puts him in the wall, wrecks him, then the 24 of William Byron, Elliott's teammate, ending the race under caution. Chase Elliott came home with the victory.
Then just the next week at the Richmond Raceway, contact off turn 2, and then headed to turn 3, Hamlin sends the 9, big impact into the outside wall.
And then one more leak later, Hamlin puts Elliott in the wall, and then Elliott gets back and Hamlin throws a bad block, and then they both crash into turn number 3 with only a few laps remaining, and they ended up fighting right afterwards, which Chase Elliott came out on top.
Welcome to WWE in NASCAR, but then at Watkins Glen, they get together into turn 1, and Elliott pointed the wrong way into turn 1 at the Glen.
High intensity moments we've seen in the past. Now the intensity is starting to ramp up once again. The field makes their final time through turn 3 before they see the green flag. The leaders will peel down to pit road to check their pit speed because track position matters so much here. If you make a mistake on pit road, you're going to be sent all the way to the back. Starting shotgun on the field is the 31 of Daniel Hemrick and the 4 of Josh Berry. Each driver has had issues in practice and qualifying yesterday. Daniel Hemrick in practice and Josh Berry in qualifying.
Yeah, big incident here from the 31. We'll see it here in a second. coming up off turn 3, and the car will just go straight. Let's take a quick look at it. 31, hard hit to the right side of the outside wall.
And then in qualifying, Josh Berry gets loose off the bottom of his car and backs it into the outside wall, and he'll spin out, and that's why they both had to go to a backup.
Take a look at the race analysis for today's laps. We're going to go 26 laps around Pocono, 2.5 mile triangular racetrack with stages of 6 laps, 10 laps, and 10 laps.
Fuel window today is going to be 14 to 16 laps.
And it is 87 degrees outside, fully sunny, and it's a 7% chance of rain.
Riding on board here with a Chevrolet Pace Cam as the field heads through turn 3, waiting to see the green. Pace car pulls off. Fans on their feet. Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott lead the field to green in Pocono. We saw Fanning out on the restart already. Look at this. Eric Jones underneath the 17 of Chris Buescher side by side through turn 2, now heading into turn 3.
The 43 and the 17. It's a deep battle for 4th. Here they come through turn number 3 and back onto the front straightaway. Up front, Tyler Reddick gonna lead lap 1.
They see Jones there go down to the bottom to prevent the side draft from Buescher. You see another side-by-side battle there in the back as well as Chastain and Brad Keselowski.
Back into turn 1 they go. Eric Jones still fighting under the 17 of Buescher, who gets the run off the outside line. Wheel to wheel down Long Pond straightaway. Now Eric Jones lost the line. And here comes Bowman to the inside of the 43 entering turn 2.
Bowman to the inside. Want to be sketchy through turn 2 here today. Bowman slides back in behind the 43. Back in line behind. But Bowman now going to try to have another look at the 43, maybe coming onto the front straightaway.
Here comes Bell right to the inside of Tyler Reddick. He's going to side draft on the exit. He's going to go all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's going to lead that lap. Come on to lap 3 now. They're still side by side as we're going to enter turn number 1 now.
Side by side into turn 1. Bell with the advantage. Can he slide up and clear the 45? Oh, he's going to try to. The 45 gets sideways, and now it's a car length gap for Christopher Bell, who takes the lead from Reddick.
Bell utilizing the dirty air. We've seen it all season long in the real-life NASCAR Cup Series. We talk about aero blocking, and Bell just pulled that on his Toyota teammate Tyler Reddick.
And as we enter turn 3, we're about to complete lap 3. Christopher Bell is starting to build a gap now on Tyler Reddick.
2 car lengths is the gap, and now growing for the 20 of Christopher Bell. They've both separated themselves from the 9 of Chase Elliott, as well as the rest of the field. A battle back here for 7th is between Kyle Busch and William Byron down the front straightaway.
A couple of green cars side by side back to turn 1. What can Byron do to the 8? Can he do the aero blocking trick? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Busch hanging tough on the outside.
Yeah, and that draft is going to help there. You see Byron go down a little bit, but he's also going to get a run now as we head to the long turn 2.
Through turn 2, side by side once again. We've seen him go through turn 2 side by side every lap now. Still fighting underneath the 8 as they head into turn 3. He's going to try to get the advantage to clear, but it's Kyle Busch who fights back on the outside line.
The momentum off turn 3, super powerful. Nudges the back of the 48. Here comes Bowman back to the inside of Jones.
Yeah, you see some battles here in the middle of the top 10 as we see a nice flyby shot at turn number 1. Bowman is going to try and go for 4th as well, but he's not going to get side by side with Buescher. He's going to stay side by side with Jones though. Down Long Pond they go once again. Jones and Bowman are still side by side as they close to the rear bumper at a 17 of Buescher. Through turn 2 they go side by side again. Now Alex Bowman is going to slide in line behind Eric Jones.
A repeat of just a couple laps ago. This scrap for 4th on back has been continuing throughout the entirety of the first stage, and it is not over yet. These guys are going to get more aggressive as we come to the closing lap of the stage. This white flag in the last lap of stage number 1. Christopher Bell still has a great lead over the rest of the top 10. As you see, Chase Elliott is kind of closed the gap on Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Christopher Bell able to give a huge gap now as they go into turn 2 once again over Tyler Reddick. He's got about 6 car lengths in between his Toyota Alliance teammate. Down the north straightaway and headed for turn 3 for the final time in stage 1.
Christopher Bell breaking back to turn number 3. A dominant stage win for the 20 car. He comes up off turn 3. Green and white checkered flag in the air, and Christopher Bell takes stage 1 of the Pocono Raceway.
As you see everyone come across the line here, the first stage is complete. Everyone kind of minding their own business there at the end, but yeah, Christopher Bell wins the first stage.
Good points saved for the 17 of Busher as well. We'll be back with the stage results after this commercial break.
So you had a dream of winning a cup. You want to make that reality? We gotta put the pedal to the metal, shift her to high gear, save it at 200 miles an hour, make some contact, fight to the line, hurt some feelings, and don't mess up. Because if you do, you'll be sent spinning, crashing, careening, flying, flipping, cartwheeling into the wall. That's your dream? Good news. And here, this is everything you've worked for. This is what you've always wanted. This is your dream on the line. Question is, are you ready?
It's my time. I'm taking it now.
A sellout crowd here at Pocono Raceway for the Great American Getaway 400 just saw Christopher Bell take stage number 1. The rest of the stage results here with Cooper and Tim.
Here we see the stage results. Reddick P2, Elliott P3, and then you saw the battle fourth on back between Busher, Jones, and Bowman, dogfighting it out through the entire first stage.
I'd like to mention here as well, Chastain and Keselowski, who started outside the top 10, were able to make it up into the top 10 and get a couple stage points as well.
Yeah, they were, and we saw a battle there between the 8 and the 24 cars. William Byron and Kyle Busch. Spirited battles there in the stage, but let's send it down to pit road with Rodco.
Stage 1 winner Christopher Bell comes in to pit. The car is driving near perfect, he reported on the radio, but it is a little bit loose in turn 2. They're going to put 4 tires, and they're going to be waiting on fuel to try to make it to the end, guys.
Eric Jones pits from 3rd. He says the car is loose in every corner, but has good knowledge as to how the car will handle back in traffic. He takes 4 tires and will wait on gas.
Reddick started on pole, but he lost the lead to the 20 early. He reports being too loose in turn 2 and will wait on fuel to be able to make it to the end.
It's Tyler Reddick who barely beats out the 20 of Bell off pit road. But now let's go down to NLS with the strategy for today's race.
Well guys, like I said earlier, strategy will be completely split. We just saw 18 cars come to pit road on this first group. Those who just came to pit road are definitely going to need a few cautions to make it to the end of this race, and they are not guaranteed for an overtime. All the drivers who stayed out are going to be about 1 lap outside their fuel window at the end of stage 2, so they're going to need to save some serious fuel. Now back up to the booth.
Here come the drivers back to the choose cone. Elliott takes the outside, Busher to the in, a couple of Hendrick teammates to the out, and Trackhouse teammates to the in as well. And pretty split decisions here at the back of the pack, but here come the cars getting ready to restart.
As the green flag is back out in the air, Chase Elliott gets a massive push from Alex Bowman as we head down to turn number 1.
Big shove by the 9. He's able to clear 2 car lengths out of the 17. But he goes up the racetrack, and here comes the 48 to the inside, 3 wide for the lead down Long Pond.
Here they come down the Long Pond straightaway. Who's going to be able to capitalize on the 3 wide battle? You can see the 3 leaders going at it. Headed to turn number 2, but still 3 wide through the double turn.
Yeah, still 3 wide here, neck and neck for the lead. Elliott has an edge with the preferred line as we head into turn 3. As you see, Busher backs out of it, but they're side by side still for the lead. Hendrick drivers 1-2.
As they head off turn 3, Bowman goes way down to the inside of the 9 to Chase Elliott. Chris Busher staying within 2 car lengths of these two, still side by side for the lead.
Oh, we got a spin!
Sliding into the wall hard on the inside.
Oh my goodness.
Bell, who won stage number 1, pit from the lead, and now is into the inside wall hard, and he takes the 77 of Carson Hocevar with him.
Sorry, I was trying to clear him behind him.
Horrible hits for the 20 of Bell and the 77 of Carson Hocevar. That was huge. Oh my goodness, what a hit for the 77 and 20 cars.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the replay here. As we look in the back, looks like Carson Hocevar is going to slide up off of 4 and clip Bell. And as they come down the racetrack, they're just waiting to hit the inside wall, and bam, what a hit for Bell. And you see the airtime that Hocevar gets, just a huge hit out of these two. Christopher Bell, your stage 1 winner, is out of the race.
Taking a look at it from a different angle here, you see they're already sideways as they enter the frame. And man, look at how close those two are to the end of the pit wall, almost into the pit barrel.
So not only is this catastrophic damage to the race cars, but it is catastrophic damage to Bell's playoff hopes. He enters this race on the cut line, and now with this crash, he is in major jeopardy of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I want to talk about the pit barrels again. You just see how close Hocevar was, and if he hit those pit barrels, this crash could have been a lot different.
Those two will be taken back to the garage as the first two out of the race, as the first caution for cause gets wrapped up. Back into the choose cone, the field goes once again. Chase Elliott will go to the outside as Hendrick teammate Bowman to the inside.
See pretty split decisions here. Byron goes with Bowman instead of Elliott, so interesting choice from the 24 there. But here come the cars, up off turn 3. We are back to racing in Pocono.
As we head down into turn number 1, you see Bubba Wallace jump out of line first. It's going down to the inside, but Chase Elliott is clear for the lead as we head into 1.
Elliott on the outside stays in line with the 17 of Busher. Side-by-side battle for second. Bowman swings down low as a head-down lock on 3 wide back behind him.
Here comes Bubba Wallace looking to the inside of Daniel Suarez and Ryan Blaney. Can he make it stick? That's going to be tight off turn 2, but they keep it straight down the short chute.
See Blaney prevails on the outside line as we head into turn 3. Bubba Wallace still trying to hang with Daniel Suarez. He's going to get a little bit of a surge, but he's going to have to back out. Daniel Suarez keeps the position.
Chase Elliott will lead the opening lap of the stage. Chris Busher following hot in his heels behind him. He stays within half a car length, and the top 10 gets single filed out here now as they enter turn 1 once again.
Yeah, here they come, the battle for the lead, heating up through turn number 1, but here's a look at Daniel Hemrick to the inside of Kyle Busch. He's been on the move here today after starting in the back, and here they go, 3 wide down Long Pond.
You see Hemrick there is going to drop a little bit lower to break a side draft, but they're going to be almost 3 wide. Busch prevails, Hemrick on the inside, and Priest will back out.
Kyle Busch is one of those ones who pit at the end of stage number 1. So is Eric Jones in front of him. So these two are trying to find their way up back to the field, but they need to be conserving gas if they want to make it to the end of this race. Right now, track position seems to be more important on this restart.
Here comes Busher. It's the battle for the lead. Heating up down Long Pond straight away. Busher's got the momentum on the inside. Elliott swings low to try to break the side draft. Here they come back to turn 2.
As we see Joey Logano on the right side of the screen might have a problem. I think he's out of gas. But as you see, Chase Elliott keeps the lead. I think the caution is going to have to come up for Logano. He's stopped on the racetrack. And yeah, Chase Elliott will be your leader still. No caution yet.
Off turn 3, it's Chase Elliott who will win stage number 1. Now the caution comes out for Joey Logano. This whole top 10 did not pit at the end of stage 1, running on fumes, and we see Joey Logano run out. It's Chase Elliott who grabbed the win of stage number 2. We'll be back with the results right after this break. Welcome back to Pocono Raceway. Joey Logano lined up in front of the push truck after running out of fuel off turn 1 on the final lap of stage number 2. You see multiple strategies in this race, but Chase Elliott took home the win of stage 2. Now, here are the full results.
Yeah, as Gavin said, Elliott wins Stage number 2, and then it's Chris Buescher breaking up the bomb between him and his Hendrick teammates of Alex Bowman and William Byron, and then rounding out the top 5, another Chevy, Ross Chastain.
Yes, as your top 5 all stayed out in stage number 1, so they got extra bonus points for getting stage points in both stages. 6th through 10th of Blaney through Allmendinger all stayed out as well, but were able to get stage points this time around.
Down to pit road with Rodko.
Chase Elliott, he'll pit from the lead. He's reporting on the radio that the car is very good, but it is struggling a little free in turns 1 and 3. 4 tires and fuel for the 9.
After finishing 7th in stage 2, Daniel Suarez was just about out of gas. He says he is losing turn 2 and will be good on gas until the end.
Chris Buescher has to back out of the lead battle in order to save fuel to make the end of the stage. Crew Chief Scott Graves calls for 4 tires and fuel for the 17 car.
You see the race off pit road. Chris Buescher will win the race as Chase Elliott drops to 3rd, and now we're going to send it back to NLS.
Well, guys, we just saw Joey Logano run out of gas on the backstretch after 15 completed laps with minimal fuel saving. Cars that put in at the end of stage 1 should be very concerned about making it to the end of the race, as they have to complete 20 laps in total. We may see some of these drivers start to save fuel when they can, but if the rest of the race runs green like it has been, relying on only saving will not be enough. Drivers who pitted at the end of stage 2 are guaranteed to make it to the end of the race, so it'll be a toss-up at the end of this one. Back to the booth.
Thank you, NLS. The field enters the choose cone. The top positions now filled with cars that pit after stage number 1. They're going to start this final stage, but do they have enough gas to make it the final 10 laps? How about a stage 3? Crank it up. Brad Keselowski leads Eric Jones side by side off turn 3. Now Kyle Busch looking way down on the inside, all the way down on the apron as they go 3 wide for second.
You saw the dust coming up from underneath Kyle Busch's car. 3 wide headed back to turn 1. Busch gonna try to clear both. Truex says no. Truex fighting back on the outside line.
See, Eric Jones had to back out of there. He drops to 4th. Still side by side for second. A good battle here as Brad Keselowski's going to try and pull away now.
Keselowski pulling away to 4 car lengths. Kyle Busch using the side draft to get even with the 19 of the inner 3. He's got the advantage. Will he be able to slide up and clear the 19? Yes, he does off turn 3.
The momentum for Truex, there's nothing there. He can't get back to the 8. Kyle Busch already setting his sights on the 6 of Keselowski, and he closed to the 6 car.
See, that draft helped him out a little bit there on the front stretch. He was able to close the gap a little bit. I don't know if he has the speed to catch up. You see Jones and Truex now battling for 3rd.
Right down Long Pond, Truex went wide through turn 1, allowed the 43 to get to the inside. A short-lived battle here as the 19 slides right down in front of the 43.
Surprised we didn't see some of that dirty air come into effect for Jones there. That was pretty tight quarters for Truex to come down and aero block the 43. Keselowski now, he is stretching out that lead, so whatever Busch has done in the last lap has not really helped him out.
As he flyby of the fields here, mid-pack battles, you see Noah Gregson's going to peek at 3 wide down to the bottom. He's going to send Larson and Dillon 3 wide as we head into turn number 1 now.
Still 3 wide down the front straightaway. Will anybody back out? Gregson will. He yields the position to the 3 of Dillon, who's going to try to clear the 5. Can't do it. Larson comes back off turn 1.
Gresser can't hold his ground. Noah Gregson slips back there out of that 3 wide battle. Can Dillon hang with Larson to turn 2?
As we head off of 2, Dillon's still hanging on the left rear of Larson as we're going to head towards turn 3. Dillon's still there. He's going to send it in now.
Austin Dillon putting up a hard battle with Kyle Larson off turn 3. He swings out of the inside to break the side draft. Battle has been going on for almost 2 laps now. Down the front straightaway they go. Noah Gregson closing into the back bumper of the 5, but he can't do anything looking into turn 1.
Man, this battle is just getting fiercer and fiercer as it goes on. Larson gonna try to use the outside line momentum to clear Dillon off one, but it's not enough. And now we got a car out of fuel. It's Michael McDowell down Long Pond.
Whoa, leaders! Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski get together, and those are your leaders, and they're both in trouble as the caution is out now.
He will be pushed back to pit road. You see a blown tire on the 6 car, but was that what caused the damage? Kyle Busch, you see, turned around backwards, but an innocent bystander in this whole thing.
What has happened here in tricky turn 2? Kyle Busch going to get it refired and head back down pit lane. You see McDowell now here on the push truck, headed down Long Pond. He's got a long way to go around this track.
And just like Joey Logano, he's going to take a long way down into the pits. As you see Brad Keselowski on pit road here, taking a full pit stop. As we're going to look at a replay here of what happened to your leaders. It looks like Brad Keselowski runs out of fuel, and Kyle Busch just didn't see it coming and just slides right into him. And he will slide down to the bottom of the racetrack. Not much contact for the 2 cars, but definitely some race-affecting implications for these guys.
It's almost like the 6 of Keselowski didn't know he was out of gas. Look at how fast the 8 comes up on him. And Keselowski's sitting right in the middle of the racetrack. Looks like a surprise to both, but it's a miracle the 8 of Kyle Busch did not hit the 6 or the inside wall.
Yeah, that's Kyle Busch showing he's still got it to keep it off these walls here, making those crazy saves that we saw back in the days. But let's send it back down to pit road for our pit reporters.
Eric Jones both had a lucky and bad situation. He got lucky because they were going to run out of fuel and had to turn on the fuel reserve switch. They did get the caution, but they will have to pit and lose all their track position.
Noah Gragson needed a good point today, but now has to pit for gas. Running 13th, the team said that he was 4 laps short and could not make it to the end.
Looking for win number 1 this season, Tyler Reddick is forced to pit from 6th. The team does not believe that they can make it to the end despite fuel-saving attempts by Tyler.
Tyler Reddick is going to win the race off pit road over Eric Jones. Now let's go back down to NLS.
I don't believe there is any way that those who pit on the end of stage 1 can make it to the end of this race. We just saw 2 cars run out of gas under green and 4 more come down pit road under this caution, who all reportedly had to flip the fuel reserve switch. This is going to be an intense end of the race. Stay tuned and get ready for a lot more cars to start running out of fuel.
Thank you, NLS. The field of the choose code one more time. Truex goes to the outside. Is Joe Gibbs' teammate Hamlin behind him? And we've got some surprise upsetting names up here up at the front battling for the win.
The surprise upset names, one of them being Josh Berry and another Austin Cindric. We're back to green at Pocono. Oh, and the 42 does not get going. Here comes a 5 to the inside, 3 wide mid-pack.
An absolute land rush into turn number 1. Truex has your lead. They're 3 wide behind them. You see Larson here coming to the back bumper of Dillon. He gets sideways. And big time. A huge crash off of turn 2. A big pileup. Larson to the inside wall hard. Josh Berry with a ton of damage. And the big one ensues on overtime.
Dillon up in the air, almost upside down. Heavy damage to the 4 of Josh Berry. And look at all the cars involved behind him.
Dillon nearly get into the catch fencing. Larson sliding to the inside wall. Absolutely unbelievable scenes here at the exit of turn 1 at Pocono. You see the safety team making sure these guys are all right, and Bowman somehow escapes the fray.
Yeah, you see Austin Dillon climbing out of his car now under his own power. A rough hit, man. I mean, he almost went roof first into the outside wall. And a massive hit for him, as well as Josh Berry and Kyle Larson.
Field now on the north straightaway where they'll see the red flag. Multiple cars are taken out. Fluid down on the racetrack. Believe came out of the 4 of Josh Berry. But so many cars get taken out. Late restarts here at Pocono are crazy. Austin Dillon with the most damage almost upside down, and multiple drivers' days have just came to an end with 2 laps to go. Let's take a look at what happened.
See Busher there on the hook as well. He was one of the dominant cars of the day, but here they come. Up off turn 1. Let's take a look here. It looks like Dylan might have gotten checked up in the 3-wide battle. Larson gets into him. Big sideways for the 3. And as he gets turned, my goodness, that is a huge hit into the outside wall.
I see Larson slide down the bottom of the racetrack, and you see Josh Berry even get some airtime from hitting Austin Dillon there. You see John Hunter Nemechek do a little hop there at the end as well. But you see the other angle here, and yeah, you can see everyone. And so you see the 17 of Chris Buescher also slide in the frame. You can see the 4 leaking fluid.
Goodness.
You see the 47 of Stenhouse slide in as well.
Josh Berry had such a good day, build up, restarting at the front. So did many other drivers. John Hunter Nemechek. How about Austin Dillon as well? Almost upside down for Dillon. What a big hit. And the 5 of Larson, a major hit to the inside. The field still under the red flag here at Pocono for cleanup off turn number 1. For this big accident, we will be back with the restart right after this break. Welcome back here up to Pocono Raceway for the Great American Getaway 400 presented by NEPA. The field's still under red flag as we await cleanup after the big one happens off turn number 1. See the AMR safety trucks putting Speedy Dry down to absorb all that fluid that came out of the 4 of Josh Berry. This is good to get the fluid up off the racetrack, but it could be a little bit slippery on this restart.
Yeah, we could see absolute chaos ensue here on this restart. You see the cars now, yellow flag back out. You see the cars now starting to roll off here on the north straightaway. Truex is going to lead them into the choose cone. Some of these guys here who made it through, Cindric makes it through. He started on the front row. He drops back to 3rd. His Penske teammate in there as well.
As we come to the choose cone here, let's see what we have. Martin Truex Jr. takes the outside once again. Hamlin and Cindric on the inside. Blaney on the outside, as you see everyone kind of spread out there. You see the 51 up here in the top 10 as well. You don't see that often with Justin Haley making the top 10 here with another overtime restart.
Riding on board the Chevrolet Pace Cam, let's go down to Fathom.
Then Cindric just radioed into his team. He is completely out of gas, and he is bringing it into pit road.
Cindric out of gas, moves the inside line up, but it's back into the gas they go. Overtime here in Pocono as they rocket down the front straightaway. Chastain pulls out a line and contact for 2nd.
Goodness, that got close for 2nd. Chastain to the inside of Truex. Up off turn 1. Truex gets into the speed drive. They're side by side down Walk-On.
As we head into turn number 2, the tunnel turn, Chastain has an edge. Is he going to clear Truex? He does. Truex is going to battle back on the bottom. A crossover move as we head into turn 3.
Truex trying to fight on the inside, but it's Chastain who takes the lead. Pulling away through turn 3, Truex looking for his final win in his home track in the NASMAR Community Cup Series. It's one more time around.
Here they come back down the front stretch. The snake. We see it down the front stretch here in Pocono. What a sight as Truex pulls to the outside. They're side by side in turn 1.
See, Truex is going to go wide. He's going to get a good run off the exit. He's going to get to the outside of Chastain as we're side by side. Contact is made as we head to the tunnel turn for the final time.
Truex with the advantage. Here comes the 1 down low. Can the 19 get in front of Chastain? He does off turn 2. Final time to turn 3. Chastain's on his bumper.
The bump and
There he
run,
goes.
side by side for the lead as they exit turn 3. Truex brings him down low, there's contact, sliding sideways across the start-finish line. Ross Chastain will win as he was sideways across the line. Truex was trying to win his final home track race, but it wasn't enough for the one of Chastain.
What a finish! Here on the front stretch of the Pocono Raceway, and Chastain gonna pull it to the wall. He does a burnout straight away, and he spins across the line. Truex giving it everything he's got, but it wasn't enough.
So you take a look at the replay here, you see Cindric runs out of gas, and then we fly into turn 1. Chastain takes second away from Hamlin and just tried to get by Truex for the lead as well as we head off 2.
You saw the two come up off turn 1 and then down Long Pond, headed to turn 2. Side by side battle. Unbelievable here, Pocono.
Yeah, unbelievable racing as you see Truex take the crossover. He had to go back in line, but Chastain was clear for a little bit, but you can't look too far back because the front stretch allows great draft. As Truex goes back on the outside, entering 1, he backs out early so we can get a good launch off of the corner. He squeezes up to the outside of Chastain, and they're side by side and make contact from there.
That contact really slowed down the one of Chastain. He able to stay on the quarter panel of the 19, but not for long as they head off turn number 2. The 19 clears, but the 1 does not let him get far away. Stays right in his trail as they enter turn number 3, and right there, the bumper gets the 19 out of the groove. The rest is history. As they exit turn number 3, the 19 forces him all the way down low and spins him out across the line. And Chastain holds him off and wins at Pocono.
Sure, we realize how close of a finish that was. Chastain spinning across the line. Very, very close finish, but Ross gonna park it in Pocono victory lane here today. The Bald Eagle gonna look down on him today very proudly.
As you see the finishing results here, Chastain gets it done. You see Blaney gets 3rd, and Austin Cindric, who had run out of fuel there on the restart, drops all the way back to 33rd in the last cars that were running, as you see the 6 there that were also DNF'd.
Yeah, multiple big-name drivers DNF, like the 17 of Buescher and the 20 of Bell. Needed great points days. Both drivers do not have wins yet this season, fighting right around the cut line. Today will not help them at all.
Yeah, absolutely not, as that is about going to wrap it up here today for Pocono. Incredible racing from the Tricky Triangle once again here in 2024.
A great day here from Pocono Raceway, especially those who came out on top like Ross Chastain. That wraps things up here from Pocono. Want to give a huge thank you to everybody who helped me out in today's race. Joining me in the booth was Cooper Stum and Timothy Brown. Down on pit road we had Rodko, Sayre, and Fathom. Our analyst for today was NLS Network, and the Pocono party was MLCS Racing Network, Speed Cup Stop Motion, Northwest, and CAT. There's Ross Chastain celebrating his 3rd win of the season, and until next time, thank you guys for watching.